Alright, it is now the next day. I've made a complete fool of myself and I just don't care anymore. I went into cutting my losses mode. I'm not going to chase a problem. It's been, God only knows how much money on top of the money I already spent on the printer itself and then the filaments. The filament is the main reason why I was like, okay, if this thing's gonna give me these issues after three months of constant perfect work. I mean, yes, I had a few failed prints, but that was on my part. But it goes from working completely fine and then just clogged. No, I'm I'm not putting up with this. I'm cutting my losses mode. I'm going to make a complete fool of myself and I'm going to show that I have issues with this printer because unlike other YouTubers out there that praise these things, if I'm going to have issues, I'm going to be letting it known. And well, I had an issue 3 weeks in. I already spent upwards of, God, I don't even want to think about it, and filament and everything else for this thing on top of the printer. I'm not going to chase a ghost problem that I don't even know could be fixed just by simply swapping this out. Because if it is actually clogged like it was supposed to be or what it's supposed to be acting like, then unclogging it like I did, because as you saw the previous video, I showed off the little unclogging tool. There was crap on that thing. Doing that should fix the printer. It should actually just start working again. Clearly, that's not the case. I'm not going to chase. I'm not going to chase a issue. I've had 3D printers over the years now, and I've had every single one of them just not work for some various reason or another. I've now given 3D printers 3 chances of working. The first one, I could get it to work, but nothing would adhere. The second one, the King Room printer, was defective from the factory. This one right here, 3 fucking weeks, and it's broke. And you can't say I didn't do anything weird with it. You can't say I didn't take good care of it. I took very good care of it. I knew what I had. And I knew to generally maintain it. And whenever it asked me to do lubrications or maintenance and whatnot, I would do it. Because I know what I had. I want to maintain this thing. It was working right out of the box. So I was like, okay, cool, it works. I will do all the maintenance when it asks, and I'll just make sure to generally keep it all nice and clean, which is what I was doing. And what did I get as a reward after 3 weeks in? A non-working printer. And like I said, I wasn't going to be chasing a phantom issue. I've had so many issues in the past of other pieces of technology, from my desktops when it comes to AMD, when it comes to laptops with Asus, with the Asus Rogue, not Rogue, but Asus. Gosh dang it, the Zephyrus G14. It's a beautiful laptop, but that thing is a piece of shit. I've had so many issues with technology in the past that if I give it one too many shots, I'm just going to end up putting up more money into it than it's worth, and I'm just going to cut my losses. I'm learning to just cut my losses now far more quicker than I normally do. Maybe fixing this off, maybe replacing this would have resolved the printer. But then again, it's $50. I ain't putting $50 into something that I can't prove will actually fix the printer. And then on top of that, I don't know if it will be a fix. I'll be a consistent. I don't know if I'll have to replace another print head 3 weeks later on down the road. I'm not going to be converting. I'm not going to be turning this thing into a money pit, especially considering when I had a RC Nitro car years ago. My father bought me one. That thing was a fucking money pit too. The stupid plastic gear on that thing would always fucking strip. And then on top of that, it was like $20 a can of nitro. And then the engines only lasted for like, what, 6 to 7 runs? That's a fucking money pit. Now, yes, I'm going way back. But still, my point still stands. I'm not turning this into a money pit. I'm cutting my losses, and I'm not going back to 3D printing. I wanted to give 3D printing a shot, and up until very recently, I was very interested in going into the next steps of learning CAD, learning Blender, learning all this unique stuff so I can make my own custom 3D print stuff to go alongside my papercraft stuff. Because there are certain things that, yes, I'm really good at papercraft. I'm good with foam board and popsicle sticks and whatnot. I can do some fairly interesting things with those mundane pieces of material, but there are certain things that I just can't do with them, and a 3D printer would allow me to do those certain things. But I'm not going to put money into a 3D printer that's going to literally break 3 weeks after working completely fine. That is just asinine. So, like I mentioned in the previous video, if Bambu does somehow come across this video and they do want to prove that their printers are actually good and mine is just defective, and they send me off a new printer, like one of the nice ones again, not the H2D, I don't want that pile of shit. That will absolutely end up in the trash. And they send me off one of their more nicer higher end printers, and it also does have those issues. It's not going to get thrown into the trash. It is going, like I said before, it's going to be boxed up. I'm going to make a video about it, and I'm going to send it off back to their store or wherever warehouse it got sent from. Like I said, I'm done with 3D printing. The only way I even ever get another 3D printer is if a 3D printing company was willing to send off a 3D printer of their own to prove that 3D printing is actually a viable hobby and not a fucking money pit, and that their printers don't fucking break after 3 weeks of use. Now, here's the big thing. I was planning on getting a more tinkery era printer. I was thinking of getting like not an Inner3, but a Elegoo printer and whatnot. And when I know those things die out, or I know those things start having issues 2 weeks in. And I was eventually planning on getting one of those because, okay, I would have a Bambu printer. It works. I want to be able to learn more intricacies of these printers. So why not go to a printer that has a horrible track record of dying or giving issues 2 weeks in? That way, so I can learn the ins and outs. I can finally tinker. I can learn what G-code is and all the other crap to make sure my Elegoo printer I get is in tip-top shape and is working and is consistent. Because as I'm working on that thing, trying to get it to work, I'll be able to just hit print on the Bambu printer and just go on my merry way as I muck around with the Elegoo printer. Have like a little series of the on my YouTube channel about how the Elegoo printer is a piece of shit, and what I did to eventually get it to where it can actually be a stable computer, or not stable computer, a stable printer, and actually theoretically sing their praises after I show what needs to be done to get their printers into a workable state. But obviously, again, that's never going to happen. Like I said, I'm done with 3D printers. The only way I ever get a 3D printer again is if one of these companies decide to try and prove that their printers are actually good. And of course, like I said, I won't be destroying that printer. It will just be getting boxed up the instant I start having issues. Now, it won't be like I just, oh no, I'm having issues, I box it up. I'll be recording the issues. I'll be recording what I do to try and resolve the issues. And whatever I do doesn't work, I'll eventually go, okay, I'm done. I'm cutting my losses. It's getting packed up. It's getting sent. It's not going to get destroyed or anything like that. Yes, I do made an ass of myself right here. But again, this is my own personal printer. I don't fucking care.